Hey everyone, thanks for watching Bridgeport's Brightest Lights. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Remote Falcon on a Raspberry Pi to allow anyone at your light show to control the lights. So let's get right into the video. So before we get started, my name is Nick, and on this channel I post videos about how to use smart RGB pixels, which are really cool Christmas lights that can change any color, anytime, do a bunch of cool designs, and I show how to use the hardware, the software, anything to do with them, and I also show what my light show looks like at the end of the year for Halloween and Christmas. So if you're new to RGB pixels and have never set up a light show, then I recommend you watch this video right here because it will show you the basics on how to use these lights, because this video has more advanced topics that won't make as much sense if you don't know how RGB pixels work. Now that that's out of the way, what is Remote Falcon? Remote Falcon is a plugin that you can put on a Raspberry Pi with FPP running on it, and it will allow you to let your viewers of your light show, anyone outside your light show, to control the light show from their phone. Now they can't set which pixel does what, but they can decide which sequence plays. Basically, it has two main features: jukebox mode and voting mode. You can have all of your viewers vote for a song for what they want to play next, and whatever song is voted for the most, that'll play next. Or you can have it set to jukebox mode, where someone can select a song, and after all the other selected songs are played, it will play that song in sequence. And it's just a really cool plugin because it allows your viewers to interact with your light show. Now, if you don't use a Raspberry Pi or FPP, you can use this on Xschedlue. Now, I will not be showing that because I don't use Xschedlue, so I don't know how it works. But I'm pretty sure someone has made a video on how to use Remote Falcon on Xschedlue. And if I can find the video, I'll leave it in the description. Now, if you're wondering, Remote Falcon is 100% free, no cost, and it is very customizable if you like getting into the advanced stuff. And if you don't and you just want to make it work, then it can be super simple, and I'll show you how to do both ways. Now, a basic overview of how this works is you make a playlist on FPP and you make an account on Remote Falcon's website, and then they give you a special token that you can enter onto your Raspberry Pi. You set a few settings which are pretty simple, and I'll go through all of them, and then Remote Falcon will give you your own link that you can share on maybe a Facebook page that you might have, or put it out front of your light show, and then anyone can go on their phones or any device they have, go to this link, and that's how they can set which sequence they want to play next. Now, if you want to do this simply, you can use a pre-made website. They have a bunch of them on Remote Falcon, and all you have to do is change some text on them, and then they'll work super easily. And then you can also make your own custom one, and you can add pictures, do whatever you want, but there is a lot of programming involved. You have to program in HTML, and if you're not familiar with that, it's basically the main program that all websites use to make their layout of how the screen looks, and that's what you have to be programming in. Now, I'm not completely familiar with HTML. I know a little bit of it, and I was able to get a website set up because I wanted to use this last year, but I ended up not using it. But I will show you what I did and try and help you if you want to change the text or do whatever you want to make a nice looking website. So without any more talk, let's go onto my computer and I'll show you how to get started. So I'm on my computer right now on FPP. I have a Raspberry Pi 4 that's running on, and I'm running version 5.5. This should work for a while in the future. Even if there's a V6 that comes out, this should still be the same. I'm not 100% sure. But I would highly recommend that if you want to use this, that you at least upgrade it to version 5 if you're still on version 4. Because I'm not sure if there's a difference, but I don't want there to be any problems. So the first thing you want to do if you want to set this up is you want to go to Remote Falcon's website. You can find it at remotefalcon.com, and then you want to click here to sign up. Now, I'm not going to do that because I already have an account, but you probably won't have an account. So just follow all the steps that it says, but since I already have mine, I'll sign in. Now, this may look different for you because you are having a brand new account, but this is my account that I've been using. I've had this for a little under a year because I've been messing around with this and I wanted to use it, but I never got to, and I don't think I will be using it, but I'll just show you how to use it if you want to. So first up, I'm going to go through all the settings up here, and when you log on, it will more than likely be in light mode, which is very annoying. You could just click right here to switch it to dark mode, and then it looks nice and dark. So this first page is your dashboard. This will show you how many people you've had visiting your page, your link that I told you about, how many requests, jukebox requests. This is one that I have tested just before I made this video, so this is why this is here. And then this is the button where you can support Remote Falcon, because the people working on this more than likely don't get paid because this is free. So I'm sure it'd mean a lot to them if you'd support them. Then they also have a Facebook group here and some other stuff you can click. But this is the main page, and this is also the link that you'll get. This is the link that you will share with everyone else, and this will allow them to be able to control which sequence plays. Now your link will be different because you have a different name, but this is just my name right here. And I'm probably going to change this because it's a really long name, so I might do something else with it. And then this where it says click here to get your remote token. I'm going to click this, and there's probably going to be some blurring, but this is the token right here that you will put into FPP later on. You don't want to share this with anyone, because if you do, then someone could be controlling your light show from anywhere in the world, and that's why this is blurred out. So that's this page, and then you also have a download status and reset all stats. I'm actually going to click that because I don't want any of this on here. And now all the stats are gone. You can also use you can select from which date to date do you want to see the total amount of visitors, and you can also see the current viewer page visitors right here. You also have a sign out button at the top, and now the next one is account settings. This is where you can change your password and set your show name. Now when you're setting up your show name, I had a problem with this. Do not put an apostrophe in the name. I put an apostrophe between the T and the S. The link will not work. When you click it, it will say unable to reach this page. So do not put an apostrophe in the name. You can also request API access and delete account. You don't want to click that unless you want to delete your account. And when you're done, hit save changes. The viewer settings page is where you mainly select if you want to use voting or a jukebox. So first you want to set this to on if you want everyone to be able to control your show. But let's say one night you don't. You could just come here, flip it off, then hit save. Viewer control mode, voting, or jukebox, whichever one you want. If I was to use this, I'd use jukebox because I don't think voting is really fair to some people if they want a song playing and not many people like it. So that's why I select jukebox. And then you can play a PSA sequence after a number of requests or votes. If you set this to on, you can select a sequence. These are my sequences right here. You wouldn't have any yet because you don't have them set up. But you can select the message that could play however often you want. And it could say basically like, please keep your headlights off or music down or whatever you want. I'd probably use this and have it set to every like 3 songs, but you can use whatever you want. And then message display time is how long a message will display on the website here. So for example, if you had a sequence and someone clicked it, they want to play this one, it would say sequence either successfully like added to the list or failed, and you could select how long you want that message to appear for. Now under advanced settings, you can set the maximum jukebox queue depth. So that's how many songs can be selected at once. So let's say you have a lot of people at your show. You can only, since I have it set to 5, so only 5 people can request a song, then they have to wait until the list goes down and then they can select another one. I just put this limit on here so someone doesn't select multiple songs or like click all 10 of them and then make people wait. That's why I select that. This will allow how many sequences a sequence has to wait until it can play again. So let's say you had someone, a little kid in your light show, and you had Baby Shark in your light show. You don't want to have that playing over and over and over and have that little kid keep selecting it. So you can select for Baby Shark to not be able to be played again for 2 sequences, 1 sequence, whatever you want. And then this setting is very important. Check viewer present. I would highly recommend you have this on. This will make sure that whoever is selecting the sequence is actually at your show. You can select what location they have to be within, and if they are not within that location, it won't work. That way someone, let's say you live in New York like me, that way someone in California can't be controlling your lights. So you can select it to GPS location or code. If you select it to code, then you could put like a code in your light show and say enter this code on the website, or GPS location. I use GPS location because code is just extra work. And if someone came to your light show and they got the code and used the website like normal, and then they went home that night, they could still use it because they still have the same code. So that's why I recommend GPS location. Both of these locations are going to be blurred because they are actually very accurate. Where it says current detected location right here, that is actually only 3 houses down. So this is actually very close to correct. This is the actual location of my house that I put in. And then you can select the max distance of miles. So Everyone has to be within a half a mile to be able to control the light show. You could set this as high as you want or as low as you want. If you had a really long driveway, let's say, and you had everyone parked at the end, you might want to set this farther so people can be able to use it. And another thing, if you are going to use GPS location, when someone goes onto the website, they will be asked to share their location. It'll give a notification saying, can this website access your location? And that's just so the website can tell if you're within the location. Hide sequence after played. This will basically hide a sequence after it's played. So up here you can select the song to not be able to be played, but you can still click it. It'll just say not be able, it won't play. Whereas this one will actually hide that sequence for the number of sequences you want, so they don't even have a chance to try and click it. And when you're done setting everything, you can hit save changes. The next page is the viewer custom page, and I'll come back to this, but this is how you make the website so everyone can see what it looks like. The next page is sequences, and you won't have anything in here yet because it won't be connected to your Raspberry Pi yet. But this is where all of your sequences will show up once you select what playlist you want them to see. I just have my name first sequence set, second sequence set, and third sequence set because these aren't individual songs. Each one has about 3, maybe 2 songs combined in them. And that brings up another important note. If you have sequences combined in one sequence, I don't recommend you use this because if you have a sequence and let's say it has Frozen and the Polar Express in it, the Polar Express is the second song within that one sequence. You can't select to play the Polar Express because you can only select which sequence to play, not halfway through the sequence. And you can also drag these around so they can be in a certain order. You can hit the play button and it will automatically play it from here. And then the next tab is the viewer page gallery. This is where you can get pre-made websites, so that way you don't have to change much code. Even if you get pre-made ones, you will still have to change it because you want to change the name and probably some other information on there. Because like this one, it says, listen to the lights, tune to this station. More than likely, this won't be your station, so you have to change some stuff around. But they do have a lot on here, 16 pages of them. So I highly recommend you check this out to find one for a template. I did use one of these templates, and then I recreated them, and that's how I made this website. And now back to the viewer custom page. This is where this button will allow you to download the current viewer page or the default viewer page, and then the other buttons down here, this one will allow you to upload the custom one so you can change the code, and then this will allow people on the website to be able to see the other templates if they wanted to like download them for some reason. I'm not sure why you'd want this on, but I just leave it to no. And then you have some other things right here that are more for customization, but you don't really need that. And now I'm going to show you what my website looks like. Now when you click it, the link is bridgeportsbrightestlights.remotefalcon.com/remotefalcon. This is what it looks like. It's kind of plain right now, and if I was to use this, I'd more than likely change it. I'm not sure why it says playing now, trolls just want to have fun. That was about 6 months ago that I tested that sequence, so it's probably because it's not connected anymore. But I do have some text changed, like it says Bridgeport's brightest lights. Welcome to the show, tune to our radio station, and then dim your headlights and all the other stuff. Then right here is where you can click which sequence you want to play next, so first, second, or third. More than likely, you'll be on your phone, so you have to tap this with your phone, but it still works fine. Now, something I did try to do, and I'm not sure why it's not working. I tried to put a picture here. I'm not sure what my problem was that I ran into, but you can put pictures anywhere you want. There's a bunch of cool designs you can do, and like I said, you can go to the viewer page gallery and download your own. So now I'm going to show you the HTML code that you'll have to program, and even if you want to do it as basic as you can, you will still have to do this, but I'll show you which parts to change, and I'll try to explain it the best I can. But like I said, I'm not 100% familiar with that. So first, if you want, no matter which one you do, unless you completely program it from the start, which will be very hard, you should more than likely come and pick a template. Just find one that looks pretty good for your liking, and this is the one I used. I changed a little bit of the text and the picture, but you can tell it looks just like mine. So whatever one you want, I'm going to choose this one because it looks a little different, looks cooler. So all you have to hit is download, and it will download it, and this one's called 408 Fargo, I'm not sure why, .html. And then immediately, if you want to, you can come to viewer custom page and then upload the viewer page. So you can click choose file, and it should be right in the downloads right here. And then file upload was successful, hit save changes, and now if you click the link, it looks a lot different. This one looks a lot nicer, and there's some buttons down here, and you can do some other stuff, but none of this stuff, like, this isn't my station, and I wouldn't want it to say some of this stuff. Some of it I would, but you would want to change most of it. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do to change this is open up the actual file for this. So I'm going to go into downloads, and I'm going to open it with, I have Notepad++. It makes it slightly easier because it changes some of the colors and it sorts it a little bit better so you can tell what is what. There are some other apps that might make it easier, but this is just what I'm going to use. Now, there is a ton of code in here, and most of this doesn't make sense to me, and it was really hard for me to try and figure this out. But what I recommend for you, so let's say you want to change this part where it says, thank you so much for stopping by. You don't want to say that. So what you're going to do is look in the code for this text, and wherever this text is, you can delete it and type in your own words. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to scroll through all of this and find the text. Okay, so it took a little bit to find it, because I haven't used this or changed any code in this in a while. But if you're using Notepad++, it makes it easier to find what is what, and most of the text is in black. So right here where it says thank you so much for stopping by, and then it says it's our pleasure, and so on and so forth. And you can go ahead and change this to say whatever you want to. Like, instead of having it say below you can add a song to the jukebox, you can change it below to say you can vote for your song. Now, I'm not sure what these and NBSP mean. Where it says this Christmas, let's go look on the website. It looks like there's a space there, so I wonder if that means like double space or something. I'm not 100% sure. But let's say, so just to test to make sure this will work, I'm going to get rid of the word stopping and just make it thank you so much for bye. Let's see if this will change the code. So what you have to do is you're going to have to save it. And once it's done saving, you could just come back up here. And every time you change the code, this is kind of annoying, but you hit choose file, and that should be this one again because you changed the code. I think this is a backup, so if we hit this, it should give us the message that it loaded in a second. And you could just hit save changes, and when I refresh the page, what will show up? Okay, so that did work. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much for bye. So I changed word. Now I still don't know what the these little parts, where is it? These little things do. But now let's say you wanted to change the color. Now I do know some of this stuff. So right here you can change like the font, and then the font weight, the line height. I'm not sure like what the values do, so you will have to play around. But this is the color, and it's in hex color. So if you want to figure out which color does what, you can go to this one website. I use this one website called Hex Color Picker. So you can like go through and change the colors right here. It'll give you like a little preview of what they look like. So let's say I just want it to be completely black. Here it is. This is the hex that you need to copy. So you just hit copy and then come back in here, and where it shows the color, you could just delete that and then paste it in, or push Control V. It should change the color, and then just save it again. And then every time you do that, you will have to come back, re-upload it, refresh the page, and there you go. Now it's in black. So you can change the colors however you want. One thing that will help is everything will be in order. So if you wanted to change, let's say this where it says missed the song you wanted to hear, and you're not sure where in the code it is, but you could find this. It's going to be below this part of the code because it's in order and it goes left to right from top to bottom. So this will obviously be below this part in the code. Now let's say on here I wanted to put a picture of like my light show. I have a few pictures of them. What you can't just upload the file and put it into the code. What you have to do is make a link for it. So there are a few different websites, but the one I use is this website right here. You can upload a few things. There is a 32 megabyte limit, but most of it works, and it will allow you to change some stuff. So if I hit start uploading, let me find a picture of the light show. So I uploaded a picture. It's an older picture of the light show. You can select whether you want to delete after 6 months or a certain amount of time, or don't auto delete. I'll just leave it like that and hit upload. It gives you this link, and you should be able to put it in here. So right here, this is the link for the text where it says Merry Christmas. So I should be able just to delete this, keep the parentheses, and put the new link in the parentheses like this. So now we should be able to come back, and if I refresh the page, Okay, it didn't work, so I'm not sure why. Let me go look around in the code for a second. Okay, I found a new website. This is the website that the actual code was using. There's a ton of pop-up ads, but if I hit choose images and select it, hopefully this website will work now, because this was the same one that the other pictures in that code used. So I think you're supposed to use the direct link. I'm going to copy that and change it with all three of the links. There we go. I changed all three of the links to this. I saved it. Let's hope it works. I'm going to choose the file again, and it's in the downloads. File uploaded successfully. Save changes. It's saved. Will it work? And there we go. Now I have the picture of my light show up there. This was an older picture. I'd probably use a newer picture, but you could change some other stuff on here. The biggest part is if you don't know a lot of HTML, you will have to find a template that is almost close to what you want and just change the text. Now, one other thing I did want to say is a way, I wanted to show a way how you can change the link. So this thing has at the bottom 2 buttons. I'm going to change this one. So I'm not going to use this when I finish, but I'm going to set it so it can take you to our Facebook page. So if you're on here and you want more details about it, you could just go to here. So I'm going to copy the Facebook page link. So I have my link to the Facebook page, and what you want to do is find the link that the button takes you to. So if you go and click this button, it does take you to a link, and it's this link right here. So that's the exact same link in here. So you can just change this link, and I'll put it in our Facebook page. So I'll push Control V. This is the Facebook page, and then I'll also change the text, which is at the end. It says this. I'll change it to, let's say, our Facebook page, and then the color is, what color is it? It's white, but you can also come over here, and one of these I think is the background color for it. It's this one or this one, I'm not sure. You'll have to mess around with it. If you mess up the code, it's not a big deal. It's not like it's going to be ruined forever. You can re-download the template and stuff. But let's save this and see if this worked. Now, if I refresh the page, still have a picture, and it says our Facebook page right here. I probably should have made that capital. But if you click it, it takes you to the Bridgeport's Brightest Lights Facebook page. That is all of the main things that you can do on here. There's nothing really else you can do when changing your website. It's mostly text, pictures, and then you can change the now playing stuff, but I'm not going to get into that because it's a lot of advanced code and stuff. There are some other videos, and if I do find them, I'll link them in the description. But now I'm going to talk about how you hook this up to Falcon Player. So, on any page, you can see where it says Bridgeport's Brightest Lights. You want to click here where it says for your remote token, and it's going to be blurred. But I'm going to copy the entire token. And then you're going to go on to Falcon Player. I have it up right here. And what you're going to do is go into the plugin manager. And you're just going to, you could probably type it in here. Just search for Remote Falcon. I typed in Falcon and it shows up here. Just hit install. It'll take like 2 seconds, not even. And once it installs, I always like to do this. I always hit check for updates just in case. No updates available. And this will show up right here under plugins. It'll say Remote Falcon. And it'll take you to a picture where it looks exactly like this. This is the dashboard page and all the other stuff on here. It looks almost the same. And then under remote token, you're gonna put in the token. Mine was already there. I think I already pasted it in. And then once it's in there, you're gonna select what playlist you want Remote Falcon to be able to change. So I have a test one, and I'll set the test. You can hit update, and hit update when you change anything. And then this is the current remote playlist. It's test. It's hooked up. Request, vote, fetch time. So this is when it will like figure out if there's a new song that someone is requesting, or if there's a new vote. It's set for 10 seconds. I like to set it sooner, 5 seconds, because if a song is just ending, like it's at the final 3 seconds and someone selects a song, Falcon Player will not detect that in time, and it will already start the next song before it plays that one. So that's why I'd set that to 5, and maybe even soon. I wouldn't do too soon though, because then it'll be slowing down the Raspberry Pi. You got some other settings here you don't really need to worry about, but what you need to do is hit Restart Remote Falcon. Anytime you change any setting, you want to push that, and then it should say Remote Falcon is currently running. And that is good. It also gives you the support Remote Falcon button here. So once that's done, you can come into sequences, and then all of your sequences will show up here. And another cool thing, and this is new, this was not here before, first off, this was here. You could change the name. So I have it set the first sequence set. You can set it to this sequence and this sequence because, like I said, mine are combined. And then you can also add a URL, and it'll put a picture next to which sequence is which. So if you had like one, like candy cane lane, you could put a picture of a candy cane next to it. So it's some cool little stuff you can do. So once you get the playlist playing and all of the songs are playing, you can go on to here, and then whoever's watching the show, they can select one of the songs. I'll just hit third sequence set. It will load, and it will say successfully added, and I'll say next selection is the third sequence set. And for some reason, I'm not sure why I keep saying this is now playing, but that is how you set up Remote Falcon. So that is basically how you use Remote Falcon on a Raspberry Pi to allow anyone with a phone, tablet, any device with internet connection to control the lights. Now, I won't be using Remote Falcon in my light show because I do have multiple songs in one sequence, so it won't really work for me. But I will leave links to all of the websites that I use down in the description below, and I will try and find some videos that explain HTML very simply so it's not confusing, because it can get really confusing trying to change the website to make it perfect how you want it. I do have a very big video coming up that I want to make as soon as possible, but I'm just waiting for the right stuff to get here. I'm planning on ordering an F48 V4, and I'm going to make a complete video that shows every single part of it, kind of like I did with the F16 V3. The only problem is they're completely out of stock right now. So as soon as I get one here, I'm going to figure out how to use it, because there is no manual right now on Pixel Controller's website. It says coming soon. So I will try and make a video as soon as possible. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And if you did not enjoy the video, leave a comment below telling me what I did wrong and what you'd like me to do next time to make my videos better. If you have any questions or think I left out anything or need help with anything, you can leave a comment below. I'll try to answer as soon as I can. And if you enjoy the content, also subscribe. It'd mean a lot if you could. We are less than 100 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers, which is so awesome. And when we get to 1,000, I will be releasing a video of what this year's light show will look like. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in one of these videos.